So today's class we are going to discuss about batten column and its design of batten column. So first of all, what is batten column? So if the column have heavy axial load, okay, then the column has to withstand that load. In order to withstand that load, if the single unit is not sufficient to withstand that load, okay, then we have to go for some built-up section, like two channels are placed or two I sections or angle sections, four angle sections. So like that, if we are going, then these built-up section has to be connected by some standard member, okay. So that type of columns are called as batten column. So laced column or battened column, okay. So which is nothing but the member, there is the compression member is connected by means of inclined member, then the column is said to be laced column, okay. If the member is this type of column is called a laced column, okay. If the same member is connected by means of, that is the column is connected by means of horizontal member, then the column is said to be batten column. So this type of column is called batten column, okay. So as it is, the spacing between the two compression member is nothing but D. That is same here also, okay. And here we are going to have the connections, that is the bolts are like this, okay. Similar way, the center to center between the distance between the bolted connection is nothing but spacing of batten. This is spacing of batten. So here we are going to say this one as horizontal distance, there is horizontal spacing H, this one is nothing but vertical spacing in the laced column, okay. But here it is spacing of batten, and in laced column only the shear is coming from the load, okay. Now only shear we can get in the lacing, but here both shear as well as moment, shear force and moment, both we can get in the batten. Since the batten is like a horizontal member, or else we can say that a laterally supported beam, okay. So beams can have both shear as well as bending moment, okay. No, so that's why we can have both shear as well as bending moment in the batten. So we have to go for the checking with respect to shear force as well as bending moment, whether the batten has withstand or not, that we have to check it, okay. So these are all the consideration with related to batten column. And similarly, the batten we are going to consider as end batten and intermediate batten. So based on that, the things will get changed, okay. So here I will draw the batten. So for example, if the channel section we can have, here in this diagram, the channel has been placed back to back. Okay. So here the spacing between the compression member is nothing but D. So this is x-x axis and here it is y-y axis. Okay. And from this number to the centroidal distance is nothing but CYY. Similarly here also. Now this is our section. If minimum 3 battens are required, okay, so based on the support length, minimum 3 battens are required, which is nothing but 2 end battens and 1 intermediate batten. That is the condition we can have with respect to our IS 800-2007. Okay. Now the spacing between the batten is nothing but from here to here it is nothing but spacing between the batten S. That is spacing between the battens. Okay. This is C. Next, this distance we all know that. So I will change the pen color. So from here to here, the spacing of or the length of the batten leg, okay, that should be denoted by S. Okay, and this is our end batten. This is our end batten, this one and this one, and this is our intermediate batten. So as per IS 800-2007, minimum 3 battens are required. Okay, and the depth of this batten is nothing but D1. D1, and depth of end batten is nothing but T. Okay, so don't confuse with respect to this D and this D. Okay, and next one, here this one we are going to say as distance between the centroids. Distance between the centroids. And as usual, the same thing, which is nothing but for compression member, if we have some gap between the member, then the IYY value is greater than or equal to IXX. Okay, and similarly the RYY value should be greater than or equal to RXX. Always RXX should be is equal to R minimum. This is for the column members are spaced between them. So this is the condition. Since here we can have some spacing between the centroid to member. So because of this, the IYY value and the RYY value becomes high. Okay. Then next, so these are all the general, and here I already said, if it is batten, for batten, we can get both shear force as well as bending moment, since it is act like a beam. Okay, it is act like a beam. So we all know that beam is a horizontal member which can carry the force. Okay, so if we are going to think like that, see here. Okay, now, so this is our column portion. In between that, we can have our batten. So, and it is connected with some bolts. So that's why if the column load is coming over here, then it can get some moment as well as shear. So shear we can get it here, and the moment we can get it here. Okay. So because of this, we have to check the batten whether it is safe to transfer the shear force and the bending moment. Okay, that is our requirement, minimum requirement. Next, as it is. Okay, and design procedure. So here, page number for batten design. For batten design, in IS 800 2007, okay, from page number 50 to 52 is for batten design. So page number 50. So this is all about battened columns. Okay. So here, as it is, while discussing about problem, that time we will consider these things where we can have the requirements to fulfill the battens. Okay. So first of all, here I said, okay, now that is the spacing between the battens. That is nothing but C. That is center to center distance between the adjacent battens. Okay, now, and here they have given one word: the effective slenderness ratio of the battened column shall be taken as 1.1 times the KL by R value, the maximum actual slenderness ratio of column, to account for shear deformation effects. So this is nothing but in laced column, we have taken that 1.05 times of KL by R minimum. Okay, now, but for batten column, it is 1.1 into KL by R minimum value. So KL is nothing but effective length of the column. R minimum is nothing but least radius of gyration. Always for a laced column or battened column, whatever it may be. Okay, now the least radius of gyration is equal to Rxx. Okay, since the spacing between the compression member. Okay, these things you have to consider. And similarly, another one thing, that is the transverse shear force Vt equal to 2.5 percentage of the total axial force. Okay, so Vt, the transverse shear Vt is equal to 2.5 times of 2.5 percentage of the axial force that we have to take. And the battens, whatever we are going to design now, that should be withstand the shear force of Vb is equal to Vt into C divided by Ns, and moment M is equal to Vt into C divided by 2N. So this much force it has to withstand, whether it is, and for laced column, we have to provide lacing either plates or flats. Okay, but for battens, we can provide the section of plates, angles, channels, or I section. Anything we can give. Okay, and it should be either bolted or riveted or welded. That with the main component that we have to ensure. And the next, thickness. So thickness of batten and end batten. So here the term batten is nothing but intermediate and end batten is nothing but end. Okay. And those at points where the member is stayed in its length shall have an effective depth longitudinally. So here they are going to say in the longitudinal axis, not less than the perpendicular distance between the centroids of the main members. This intermediate batten shall have an effective depth of not less than 3/4 of this distance. So they are saying that the distance between from here to here, okay, now is the that is C. With respect to C, they are saying 3/4 of C they are going to expect. Okay, now or in no case shall not be less than effective depth of any batten be less than twice the width of the any one member. So 2 times of B. Okay, we are going to. The effective depth of the batten shall be taken as the longitudinal distance between the outermost bolts. So effective depth or effective length is nothing but outermost bolt to bolt distance. Okay. Similarly, from outer bolt, uh, effective depth is nothing but from this bolt to this bolt center pressure is called effective depth. Okay, that is we are going to take. And similarly, the thickness of the batten or tie plates shall be not less than 1/50th of the distance between the innermost connecting lines of the rivets, bolts, or welds perpendicular to the main members. So the thickness of the batten is equal to or shall not be less than 1 by 50 into that distance, okay, between the outermost bolt, okay, now that they have given. Then spacing of batten. Spacing, I said this C. Okay, here they mentioned that the spacing of batten center to center of its end fastenings shall be such that the slenderness ratio of any component over the distance shall be neither greater than 50 nor greater than 0.7 times the slenderness ratio of the member. So here the spacing between C is equal to C by RYY should be greater than or equal to 50 or else 0.7 times of KL by R minimum. So KL by R minimum should be nothing but 1.1 into KL by R minimum. Okay. So based on that. So these things we are going to use when doing the design part. Okay. Now let us go to the problem. So this is the things which are related to our batten design. Okay. Now let us move on to the problem related to design of battens. Okay. Design of batten column. ENED problem. Okay, first given data. Design a built up column 9-meter long to carry a factored load of 1100 kilonewton. So they have given the load P value is 1100 kilonewton. Okay. The column is hinged at both ends. At both ends. So they have given the column edge end conditions. Design the column with battens, taking taking two channels are placed back to back, are placed back to back. Okay, channel placed back to back means it is placed like this. Okay, placed back to back means like this. Okay, placed face to face means it is like this. Okay, this is called face to face. Okay, now let us move on to the problem. That is given data P is equal to 1100 kilonewton. Then the column is hinged at both ends, so that from table 11, okay, KL is equal to LE, that is equal to 1 into L. Okay, therefore they have given that L is equal to length of the column, L is equal to 9 meter, that is equal to 9000 mm. Therefore LE is equal to 9000 mm. So this is the given data. Next, solution part. So solution part consisting of two things. One is design of compression member. Design of compression member. Design of compression member. It consisting of following steps. Okay, that is first calculate the area requirement. Area requirement, that is AE required. Okay, by using the formula of P is equal to AE into FCD. Here FCD we have to assume. Okay, so how much we have to assume? If it is channel or I section, we have to assume as 135 Newton per mm square. If it is channel or I section. If it is angle section, then we have to assume between 70 to 90 Newton per mm square. If it is an angle section. Okay. So from that we have to calculate AE required. Next, how to select a suitable section. Suitable section from the steel handbook. Steel handbook, that is with respect to area required. Okay. Next to 1.3. Check the design strength of the member. So whatever the section we have chosen now, for that design strength we have to choose. So design strength of the member, we have to get it. So design strength is nothing but PD. For that the check is P should be less than PD. PD is nothing but AE into FCD. So for this FCD, you have to go for, you need KL by R minimum value. So we all know that R minimum is equal to RXX for laced and batten column. Okay. Then buckling class we need. Buckling class. So buckling class we have to refer table 10 from the page number 30. Page number 45, sorry, 44. Table 10 of page number 44, we have to check it. Then after what we have to do? Calculate the PD, that is the condition. P should be greater than, that is P should be less than PD. Okay, that we have to. Then second criteria, that is design of batten. So if I'm coming here, I have to go for some 7 steps. Okay, now, so that is nothing but spacing between the compression member, that is small d. Here the formula is 2 times of Iyy plus area into d by 2 plus Cyy the whole square is equal to 2 into Ixx. Okay. Next, spacing between the two battens, that is C, that we have to calculate. For that, the condition is C divided by Ryy. Okay, should be less than 50, or C should be C by Ryy by should be less than 0.7 into kg. Okay, so among them, which one is less, we have to choose the lesser than that. So choose lesser value from among them. Okay, then next, distance between the centroid, of the section. So yes. Then fourth step, design of battens. Okay, that is end batten, So for end batten, effective depth and overall depth we have to calculate. Effective depth and overall depth. So similarly, intermediate batten. For that also we have to calculate effective depth. Here it is D dash and D. Here it is D1 dash and D1. Okay, so these things we have to calculate. Then after we have to go for thickness of battens. Thickness of battens T. So T should be greater than or equal to 1 by 50 of D plus 2G. Okay, so these things we have to take. Next one is 2.5, that is design force. So design force, here we have to calculate VT, VB and M. So VT is 2.5% of P. VP is equal to, from page number 51 of IS 800. That is VTC divided by NS. Similarly, M is equal to VT into C divided by 2 into N. So this VB and the M, this is shear. So shear stress. So here it is shear force and this is moment. Shear stress and bending stress. Should be less than Fy by root 3 into gamma m similarly fy by 1.1. This is the check. If it is with satisfy this condition, then whatever the design we made with respect to the batten is correct. So up to this, the design procedure for the batten is over. Now let us move on to the problem.